What happened to my body when I turned 50? It's like somebody flipped a switch and said, oh, today you're 50. Ding, we're going to get you. And all of these stupid things have been happening. So I'm going to my doctor today to discuss in detail with her some of the options that she gave me 7 months ago. I have lots of questions about those options, and I want to explain to you in this video what my options are, the questions I'm going to ask my doctor. I'm going to take you to the doctor with me. No, not in the actual room with me, but I'm going to take you to the doctor's office with me. And then after my visit, I will explain to you what she told me and let you know which option that I'm choosing to deal with the bleeding and the fibroid until I hit menopause. Birth control, beta blockers, uterine ablation, or hysterectomy. And I want none of them, but I have to do something. I have to get to menopause. So if you've been on my channel for a while, you know it is not new news that I have a uterine fibroid. I had to have a blood transfusion about this time last year because of my super heavy menstrual bleeding. It got so bad. I was anemic. I had to have a blood transfusion. I had to get 2 units of blood, y'all. Emergency blood transfusion. My doctor said, OMG, straight over to get a blood transfusion. I was completely sideswiped by all this. I knew I wasn't feeling great, but I didn't know how bad it was until I saw all of my doctors last year, and things have gone downhill since then. So let me bring you up to speed. I did a video 6 months ago where I went and had a uterine ultrasound to confirm that I do have a fibroid. How big is it? I don't know. I asked my doctor that, and her answer was, it's a pretty good size, but I didn't get an actual number. So I have a doctor's appointment this afternoon, and I have a big, long list of questions for her. Number one is, how big is it? Because I went and saw my regular family doctor about 7 weeks ago, and she said, well, how big is it? And I said, I don't know. And she's like, Renee, you have to have this information. We addressed all of the heavy bleeding and the fact that it is causing me some serious blood and anemia issues, along with pain in my side where the fibroid is. And I told you all that I had started taking vitamin K2. This has significantly helped me with the pain factor from the fibroid. I've been taking it, 7 months now. It really hasn't helped the bleeding. I no longer feel the fibroid at all. Zero. Never. I don't even know it's there, which I was in discomfort every single day until I started taking vitamin K2. At the time that I met with my doctor 7 months ago, I was of the mindset that I am 51 years old. Menopause is right here. Like, it could be here tomorrow, it could be here a year from now, or it could take 4 years. Who knows? But I was of the mindset that I will just deal with the heavy bleeding, whatever I have to do to deal with it. I did not want to take medication. I didn't want to have a procedure. She suggested a hysterectomy. I said, absolutely no way. I will just deal with it until I'm in menopause. Well, this is now 7 months later, and it's gotten to the point that I cannot deal with it. I cannot. Because I have such extreme heavy bleeding during my period, and my periods have gotten irregular. They used to be just like clockwork every 28 days. Now my period is showing up a week early, so every 3 weeks, which is not cool. Sometimes it's a week late. 2 months ago, I had a period that lasted for 13 days. Not good, y'all, not good. My doctor, my family doctor, when I saw her, said, Renee, you have got to get this under control. She said, it's like having a hole in the bucket. You're bleeding so much that your body cannot produce the blood that it needs. I was 3 pints low of blood in my body. According to my lab work, 3 pints low. She said, this is bad. You cannot go on like this. You have got to do something. You have to go back to your gynecologist. I know all of the options are not great, but you're going to have to pick one. You have got to stop the bleeding. And that's where I am today. I'm going to pick one. I'm looking for something to work now to stop the bleeding. I think I can deal with the fibroid. I have the pain under control, but I need the bleeding to stop. That is my number one goal. Stop or lessen the bleeding. So 7 months ago, my doctor said to me, you can get a hysterectomy. I said, absolutely not. My other option is I can take birth control. I'm 51. I don't need birth control. My husband has had a vasectomy. I haven't taken birth control in 20-something years. But that's an option. I can take birth control to help to control and manage the heavy periods. Birth control has side effects. Moodiness, weight gain. I don't know. When I took birth control 20 years ago, I just remember that every single day I had a massive headache, to the point that in the afternoons I had to lay down for a couple hours, like just a gigantic migraine, and it never went away, and it was the birth control pills. I know things have changed in 20 years. There's all kinds of birth control pills that, do different things now, so that is something I'm willing to discuss with my doctor. And then the third option was, and I don't remember exactly what she called it, but it's basically a beta blocker. It's a pill that you take that tells your brain not to produce estrogen, which estrogen feeds the fibroid and makes it grow and bleed. Beta blockers have some pretty significant side effects. Your body feels like it has instantly gone into menopause. Night sweats, hot flashes, insomnia, like all the things happen instantly with this medication. And there's several brands of medication. It's fairly new to the market. I think it's, according to my research, been out 3 or 4 or 5 years maybe. And what I could find on these beta blockers, women had not good things to say. The side effects were really, really bad. But that's what I'm looking at. Birth control, beta blockers, or hysterectomy. And I want none of them, but I have to do something. I don't know what I'm going to choose. It sucks. So let's head to my gynecologist visit and see what I choose, see what my options are. I'm going to try to get some answers. And I am not a doctor. I'm just sharing what I'm going through, what's happening with my body, and passing along what my doctor says to me and the options as she explains them to me. So this is a new world for me, thinking that I'm going to have to take some form of medication every day, but the bleeding has to stop. So let's head to see my gynecologist and see what my options are, and I'll explain to you what I chose and why when we get out of the doctor's office. Well, that did not go as planned, y'all. Nothing ever goes as planned. So I went in there, I saw my doctor, we talked about it in detail. She said that my fibroid is 4 centimeters and I have a possible secondary fibroid, which is 1.7 centimeters. We talked about my options. Birth control, she said, is only going to level out my hormones and slow down the bleeding. It's not going to reduce the size of the fibroid at all. She really recommended that I try the beta blocker. There's one called Fibroid. This is the brochure she gave me. She said it is specifically for perimenopausal women with a fibroid and heavy bleeding. That is what it targets. She said this is what I should try. It will reduce the size of the fibroid. The longer I'm on it, the less I will bleed. And she said a lot of women who are taking it actually, she said 80% of the women who take it actually stop having a period, or it's just a very light spotting. I'm concerned about the side effects, the hot flashes, the night sweats. She said they could be minimal, they could be a lot. So she suggested that I try this beta blocker for 30 days. If I don't like it, I stop. I asked her about an ablation. She said it's not an option for me. An ablation ablates the lining of the uterus to stop the heavy bleeding. The lining of my uterus is not the problem. It is a fibroid. She said an ablation will not help the fibroid. So unfortunately, that's not an option for me. Hysterectomy is the only option, and I'm not willing to do that. So she gave me a bag of samples right here of this Fibroid. I have a 30-day supply. I'm going to take it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to see if I have side effects. Can I handle the side effects? What are they? Knowing that it is going to shrink the fibroid and lessen the bleeding, because the goal, she and I both agree, is to get me to menopause without bleeding to death. Literally bleeding to death. And menopause is any minute, any day, any week, any month, any year. It is right in front of me. So I'm going to try the Fibroid simply because this is what she recommended that I try first. Wish me luck, y'all. I will definitely keep you posted on how this goes. If I have side effects, I'm going to take it for 30 days and see what happens. I'm not somebody that takes medicine. I don't like to take medicine. I'm going to take this at night, which is what my doctor suggested I do, so that if I do have immediate side effects from the one pill, maybe they'll happen while I'm sleeping. I don't have to take this with food. I don't have to time it with my period. It's one little pill a day. So the next time y'all see me talking about this, my body could think that I'm in full-blown menopause. I could have night sweats and hot flashes. If you see me out, peeps, in my hometown of Paducah, and I am having a hot flash, just keep on going. Don't stop and talk to me. I remember when my mother used to have hot flashes when I was younger, and she would just turn red and break out in this horrible sweat, and she couldn't talk, and I'd be like, Mom, what is happening? Because I just didn't understand what was happening. Now I truly sympathize with women that are having hot flashes. Maybe it won't be me. It's probably going to be me, but I'll keep you posted on my Fibroid journey. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. I'll tell you what I know, and I'm willing to share my journey so that it helps other women who are looking for this information. See you later.